Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Los Angeles protests over immigration raids escalate in scale and order. Trump deploys Marines in the city even as California governor vows to sue Trump administration amid the escalating conflict. Markets across the world watching intently as US-China trade talks in London stretch to second day. Trump claims the talks going well. Trump warns time running out for Iran to avoid military action as next round of nuclear talks to take place on Thursday. Also, Tehran readies a counter-proposal on a potential agreement. Amid escalating tensions, Russia and Ukraine exchange prisoners. Zelensky welcomes the move, says the exchange began under the first stage of agreement reached in Istanbul and there will be several stages. Frederick Forsyth, UK author known for spy novels and Day of the Jackal, dies at the age of 86. In the United States, President Donald Trump is sending additional 2,000 National Guards after it ordered active duty Marines into Los Angeles. He vowed those protesting immigration arrests would be hit harder than ever.
San Francisco Police Department, I'm ordering you all to sit down. You are all being detained. San Francisco Police Department, you're being detained. Sit down.
The extraordinary mobilization of 700 full-time professional military personnel who join hundreds of National Guard troops already there looked likely to stoke tensions in a city with a huge Latino population. A fourth day of protest was unfolding in Los Angeles, triggered by dozens of arrests of what authorities said were illegal migrants and gang members. The deployment came after demonstrators took over streets in downtown LA on Sunday, torching cars and looting stores in ugly scenes that saw law enforcement responding with tear gas and rubber bullets. Trump's use of the military, which he repeatedly threatened to do while campaigning for the White House, marked a significant break from modern American political practice. California Governor Gavin Newsom slammed the move as deranged, as tensions have been rising since Trump activated the National Guard, an act that Democrats have labeled an unnecessary provocation. The National Guard has not been deployed over the head of a state governor since 1965 at the height of the civil rights movement. At least 56 people were arrested over 2 days and 5 officers suffered minor injuries in LA, while about 60 people were arrested in protests in San Francisco. Coming hard on the protesters, New York City Mayor Eric Adams and Police Commissioner Jessica Ticht reaffirmed the city's commitment to protect peaceful protests while maintaining public safety at a press conference. Adams echoed the importance of peaceful protest, urging New Yorkers to choose nonviolence and compassion amid societal divisions. Nancy emphasized on the NYPD's role in safeguarding protest rights and also ensuring order, warning against violence and property damage. Both the leaders assured the city's readiness to respond to any unrest, drawing lessons from the recent events in California.
As always, the NYPD will protect every person's right to protest peacefully. That right is central to our democracy, and the NYPD is committed to ensuring that people can always exercise that right safely. And as a matter of city law, we do not engage in civil immigration enforcement, period. We will continue to follow the law. But let me be crystal clear. We have no tolerance for violence, none. We have no tolerance for property damage. We have no tolerance for people blocking entrances to buildings or blocking driveways or blocking cars from moving. And any attacks against law enforcement will be met with a swift and decisive response from the NYPD. We are responsible for public safety and maintaining order in this city, and we will never abdicate that responsibility.
Released from federal custody on Monday after his arrest last week and subsequently being arraigned on federal felony charges for impeding an officer. Yurta, like hundreds of others at a rally advocating for his release earlier in the day, expressed the importance of non-violent protest and explained the implications of ongoing civil unrest for detainees when the detention center enters into lockdown.
The detainees, they cannot come out. So while this is happening, they cannot come out. There's also the risk, they also cannot see their lawyers. And to a certain extent, they cannot also do court hearings that are so important. Because had I not had my court hearing today, I doubt we'd be standing here today. We will have our time for justice, but we must do it in a way that we demonstrate the power of working people across this country and stand united.
Demonstrations took place in New York, Chicago, Atlanta, among other cities. There were questions over how well prepared the National Guard had been for its sudden deployment, with pictures obtained by the San Francisco Chronicle appearing to show guardsmen sleeping on the floor of what the paper said was a federal building.
Criminals. We are working people, and we are not a trash can for the president. This is not I don't understand if this is his way to make America great again. Destroy our people, destroy our communities, destroying America. That's what he's doing.
This provocation of having ICE agents lie to people, of having them actually set up court dates that people went to in good faith, thinking that they're following the rules, and then what happens is that they're arrested by these masked, frankly, thugs. We've seen children and parents terrorized by these, frankly, kidnappings.
What we normalize today and don't stand against today is a clear signal to the people in the future of what we're willing to put up with. So just draw the line now, draw the line here, right?
Chinese and U.S. representatives concluded the first day of the first meeting of China-U.S. Economic and Trade Consultation Mechanism in London on Monday afternoon. The discussions will continue on Tuesday. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and Trade Representative Jamison Greer are leading the U.S. delegation. Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng, also a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, attended the meeting with U.S. representatives. Top U.S. and Chinese officials meet in London to try to defuse a trade dispute that has widened from tariffs to restrictions over rare earths, threatening a global supply chain shock and slower economic growth. On the first day of the likely 2 days of talks, officials met at the ornate Lancaster House to try to get back on track with a preliminary agreement struck last month in Geneva. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett said on Monday that the U.S. team wanted a handshake from China on rare earths after President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping had agreed to resume shipments in a rare call between the two presidents last week. U.S. President Donald Trump said that he has no plans to terminate the government's use of Elon Musk's Starlink satellite service made by Elon Musk's SpaceX company, calling it a good service. Speaking to reporters aboard the Air Force One, Trump confirmed his administration has no immediate intention to review or cancel the satellite contracts with Musk's SpaceX. Trump also dismissed recent media chatter about Musk allegedly using drugs during a prior visit to the White House.
Elon Musk get physical with the Treasury Secretary?
No, I didn't.
And I tried to
They
ask...
did have an argument, but I didn't see a lot of physicality there.
And there was this New York Times report that he did not want to talk about, Elon Musk, that alleged that he, towards the end of his time in the White House, was blurring the lines between recreational use of drugs and medicinal. Do you think he ever had drugs here at the White House?
I really don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. Look, I wish him well. You understand. We had a good relationship, and I just wish him well. Very well, actually.
US President Donald Trump rejected Iran's latest reply to a nuclear proposal, warning that Iran's demands could collapse the negotiations. Trump announced that a meeting with Iranian negotiators is scheduled for Thursday, adding that they're asking for things that simply cannot be done. He reiterated Washington's core objection that Iran is pushing enrichment, warning that failure to reach a deal would carry extremely dangerous consequences. Iran's Atomic Energy Organization had said that it would never accept 0% uranium enrichment, calling the U.S. demands excessive. Trump also confirmed a recent call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, during which they discussed Iran and Lebanon amid other regional developments. Let's get to updates on the Russia-Ukraine conflict now. Ukraine and Russia carried out the first stage of a prisoner exchange on Monday, following agreements reached in Istanbul last week. The Russian Defense Ministry said that the first group of Russian servicemen under the age of 25 was returned from the territory controlled by the Kyiv regime. A similar number of prisoners of war from the Ukrainian army were also transferred. During their last round of talks in Istanbul on 2nd of June, Russia and Ukraine agreed on an all-for-all exchange involving seriously ill and wounded prisoners. The two sides have managed to agree on returning prisoners of war and repatriating the dead, while broader peace talks remain stalled in the fourth year of the conflict.
Далі, що стосується дітей, ми передали список з майже 400 дітьми русських. Вони нам запропонували щось в цьому напрямку напрацювати до 10 дітей. Ось це їх бачення таке щодо гуманітарних питань.
Israeli naval forces boarded and seized a charity vessel carrying Swedish activist Greta Thunberg, which had tried to break the naval blockade of the Gaza Strip on Monday. Greta boarded the ship Madeleine alongside a group of activists determined to deliver crucial supplies to Gaza's suffering population. But late last night, footage emerged showing Greta speaking firmly to the camera. In her message, she revealed she and her team were intercepted and kidnapped in international waters by force that support Israel. The Israeli Foreign Ministry confirmed that the vessel was under Israeli control, assuring the public that the activists were safe and unharmed. Over the weekend, the Israeli military warned that they would take whatever measures necessary to prevent the Madeleine from breaking the blockade. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump responded to Thunberg's claim and dismissed Thunberg's statement that she had been kidnapped.
Well, she's a strange person. She's a young, angry person. I don't know if it's real anger. It's hard to believe, actually. But I saw what happened. She's certainly different. Anger management. I think she has to go to an anger management class. That's my primary recommendation for her. I think Israel has enough problems without kidnapping Greta Thunberg. She said she was kidnapped by Israel.
Prolific British thriller writer Frederick Forsyth, who instantly became a global best-selling author when his book The Day of the Jackal was published in 1971, died on Monday, aged 86. Forsyth famously penned his most famous work about a fictional assassination attempt on French President Charles de Gaulle by right-wing extremists in just 35 days after falling on hard times. Forset died at home surrounded by his family following a brief illness. The former journalist and pilot wrote over 25 books, including The Odessa File and The Dogs of War, and sold over 75 million copies worldwide. Many of his novels were also turned into films. After serving as one of the youngest ever RAF pilots, he turned to journalism, using his gift for languages in German, French and Russian to become a foreign correspondent in Nigeria. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, aiming to step up diplomatic engagement, India's External Affairs Minister meets members of the European Parliament. Shubhanshu Shukla is set to become the first Indian to reach the International Space Station. Stay with us as we tell you more about his feat. In spite of biting the dust against Carlos Alcaraz in the French Open final, Yannick Sinner of Italy extends his lead at the top of the ATP World Rankings.
Open your mind to a whole new world. Explore mystic wonders of nature in the forests.
तो मुझे देख के आपको लग रहा है कि मुझे इजी वाला देना चाहिए.
Uncover secrets hidden deep inside the earth.
And I'd always heard of this ancient Shiv Mandir which is inside a cave.
Experience the rich cultural legacy.
मुझे बताइए इस डांस फॉर्म के बारे में, इस आर्ट फॉर्म के बारे में.
Experience the blend of vibrant warmth and stunning creations.
It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Jharkhand. Let it become a part of you. Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. India's External Affairs Minister on a visit to European nations met members of European Parliament. This is his third visit to Europe in the past few months and a part of the government's efforts to step up the diplomatic engagement. During his visit to Belgium, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Maxime Prevot. The discussions focused on enhancing bilateral cooperation and combating terrorism. He also appreciated Belgium's support in combating terrorism and welcomed their solidarity and emphasized on the strong momentum in the India-EU partnership, highlighting the potential for collaboration in clean energy, mobility and pharmaceuticals. Interacting with members of the Indian community of Belgium and Luxembourg, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar discussed the steady progress of India-Belgium ties and engagement with the EU. He also apprised them of India's efforts in countering terrorism and ensuring progress and prosperity of the nation. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is on a week-long visit to Belgium, European Union and France in an effort to renew momentum to the ongoing cooperation in diverse areas. And back home, 9th June marks 11 transformative years of the Modi government, an era that reshaped India. From lifting millions out of poverty to propelling the country into league of the fastest growing economies, the journey reflects progress with purpose. Mihir Mekuri gets us more.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा.
For the past 11 years, this oath and the man behind it have become emblems of trust and transformation for over 1 billion Indians. A symbol of resolve, a journey of change and promises kept. From economic acceleration to social upliftment, the arc of India's transformation under Prime Minister Modi is both broad and bold. India is now the world's 4th largest economy and continues to be the fastest growing major economy. A feat that reflects 11 years of sound policy making.
We are the 4th largest economy as I speak. We are a $4 trillion economy as I speak. And this is not my data, this is IMF data. India today is larger than Japan.
Fueling this economic engine is India's robust agriculture sector. Over $43.5 billion disbursed under PM Kisan and record MSP hikes have empowered millions of farmers, strengthening the backbone of Bharat. At the core of this growth lies compassion. In 11 years, the Modi government has transformed lives by building 40 million Pakka homes, distributing free food grains, and providing healthcare cover to 550 million underprivileged Indians.
पिछले 11 साल में 25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त कर करके विजयी होकर के गरीबी से बाहर निकले हैं.
A dignified life is now a reality for many. With over 120 million household toilets built and 150 million homes getting tap water connections, the government has brought dignity and hygiene to millions of doorsteps. Youth and innovation have been placed front and center. 490 new universities and 160,000 startups are shaping a new India led by aspiration, skill and entrepreneurship. Nation building needs connectivity. In just 11 years of PM Modi, highways have expanded from 91,000 kilometers to 146,000 kilometers. Airports have more than doubled. 136 Vande Bharat trains now speed across India. From eliminating terror camps through operations like Sindoor to boosting defense exports by 33 times, India has asserted strength and self-reliance like never before. India has also soared into space. Chandrayaan-3 made history by landing on the moon's south pole, while over 200 private space startups now mark a new era of innovation. And while India surges ahead, it also reconnects with its soul. From reclaiming stolen artifacts to the grand construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya, the Modi government has rekindled civilizational pride and spiritual heritage in more than a decade. 11 years, one vision, countless milestones, from empowering the poor to propelling space dreams. The final destination of this journey is a developed India by 2047. Mihir Makri for DD India.
Shubhanshu Shukla is set to become the first Indian to reach the International Space Station and only the second ever in orbit, an achievement that India hopes will be a stepping stone for its own maiden human spaceflight program. Ragini Sudhir Chore gets us more.
On 10th of June, another Indian, Shubhanshu Shukla, after Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, will take a shot at history by becoming the first to travel to the International Space Station. Born on 10th October 1985 in the Indian city of Lucknow, Shukla was commissioned into the Indian Air Force in 2006. A test pilot, Group Captain Shukla, has logged more than 2,000 hours of flying. He has flown combat jets such as the Su-30 MKI and Jaguar bombers. ISRO chairperson V. Narayanan says that the benefit India will get from this mission is phenomenal in terms of the training, exposure to the facilities, and the experience of jointly conducting experiments in space. The crew is expected to spend 14 days aboard the International Space Station engaging in science, diplomacy, and public outreach.
I have a personal agenda of capturing my experience on board this station through pictures and videos so that I can share these with all the Bharatvasis back home. I want them to share this thrilling experience through my eyes. For I truly believe that even though I, as an individual, am traveling to space, this is the journey of 1.4 billion people.
The proud parents of Shubhanshu Shukla, who is set to become the first Indian to travel to the International Space Station, are praying for the success of his mission.
भगवान से यही प्रार्थना करते हैं कि अच्छे से अच्छे उनका मिशन कंप्लीट हो और अच्छे से सब पूरे भारत का नाम रोशन हो. हम घर वालों का तो नाम रोशन है ही, हम लोग का सीना चौड़ा हो गया है गर्व से.
From the cockpit of a Sukhoi to the spacecraft cabin, the trajectory of Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla is now headed beyond the Earth. When the engines ignite and the Falcon 9 lifts off, it won't just be one man heading to space. It will be a nation taking its next confident step among the stars. Bureau Report, DD India.
From here we now talk of sports. Yannick Sinner officially extended his lead at the top of the ATP World Rankings on Monday, despite his defeat to second-ranked Carlos Alcaraz in the French Open final. Sinner gained 500 for reaching his year's final and remains world number one. Spaniard Alcaraz lifted the title for the second straight year, gained no points and remained second. Meanwhile, Germany's Alexander Zverev remained third despite his quarter-final elimination by Novak Djokovic. In women's rankings, Aryna Sabalenka continues to remain at the top of the WTA rankings despite losing the French Open final to Coco Gauff. 3 times Grand Slam winner Sabalenka has a lead of over 3,400 points over second-placed Gauff after the French Open. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.